Welcome to Back. Today, we will discuss some aspects of the world-renowned Turkish author Sabahattin Ali's book, The Madonna with the Fur Coat, that you may not have heard of before. On behalf of the Dailybooks community, I, Fatih, have reviewed this book for you. But I must warn you, this time we will not be talking about that romantic Berlin fairy tale you know, but about the enormous void that the modern world has opened in our souls. In the following minutes of the video, you will discover the fierce autonomy that Maria Puder left for women from 1943 to the present, and why Raif Efendi actually chose to be invisible. If you're ready, let's dive into the depths of this magnificent work, into our own darkness. Now, surrender yourselves to me, because I'm about to introduce you to the real Madonna.
This is not a love story, but a spiritual murder. The Lady with the Fur Coat. That famous book you see in everyone's hands, served as a side dish next to coffee cups. By the way, what do you think it is? A romantic Berlin fairy tale? Or the sad ending of two lovers who couldn't be together? As the @Dailybooks community, today we're tearing down that cheap romanticism. Most of you came here to hear about Maria Puder and Raif Efendi's impossible love, but I have to warn you, if what you're looking for is a pink cloud, you clicked on the wrong video. Because in 2026, no one has time for fake fairy tales. Today, here, we're going to talk about that enormous void, that existential scream hidden between the lines of Sabahattin Ali. When this video ends, that edition on your bookshelf will no longer be just a pile of paper. It will be a mirror held up to the darkest room of your soul. Ask yourself this question. When was the last time you valued someone without expecting anything in return, simply for existing? Or does the modern world only love you as long as you are useful? In the latter part of the video, we will analyze why Maria Puder is the strongest testament to women in 2026 from 1943. She is a guiding star, showing how to remain strong without masculinizing, how to become a giant while preserving a woman's spiritual autonomy. But where did Maria's strength come from? And why did she find that hidden gem in a seemingly faded man like Raif Efendi, something the whole world couldn't see? Perhaps true strength lies not in shouting, but in the ability to remain silent. Raif Efendi's lonely walks through the streets of Berlin are actually the very essence of that digital loneliness you feel every day, even when surrounded by thousands of people with your phone in your hand. In this novel, Sabahattin Ali isn't just telling a love story. He's explaining why we humans remain so distant from one another, why we always hide behind a fur coat. As we decipher why Raif is silent and why Maria says, "The day you ask me for something, it's all over," you will discover the reason for those hidden cracks in your relationships. Here on the Dailybooks channel, we don't just read books, we operate on souls. Because we know that if a book doesn't create an earthquake in your life, it's just killing time. The world of 2026 made everything consumable, but we couldn't consume emotions. Raif Efendi's black-covered notebook is actually that most fragile, wounded you've hidden away in your Instagram archive, never letting anyone see. So, why is Maria Puder so dangerous? Why did those glances, that self-portrait, destroy Raif's life in a way that will never be the same again? Because Maria didn't show Raif a path, she showed him that he couldn't escape himself. When you watch this video to the end,
You won't just have taken a literature lesson. You will discover what your own fur coat is, what mask you hide under. In a moment, we will enter the most intimate part of the story, that room. But remember, once you face the truth, you can never return to that comfortable life filled with lies.
In a moment, we descend behind those gazes in Andrea del Sarto's painting, Into Hell. But this hell is filled not with fire, but with a deep silence. At the point where Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Hell is other people," Maria Puder whispers, "Hell is ourselves." In the last 10 minutes of the video, we will discuss not why the confession on the last page of that famous notebook still makes thousands of women cry today, but why it awakens thousands of women. Was Raif Efendi a victim or a hero? Was Maria Puder a lover or a revolutionary? The answer to these questions has nothing to do with what device you use to view life or what time of day you look at it, but rather which wound in your heart it touches. If you're ready, we're embarking on a journey from the cold streets of Berlin to the soul's ever-burning fire. But bring nothing with you on this journey. Bring only your honesty, because Maria Puder never forgives pretense. And remember, joining the Dailybooks community is not just about subscribing, it's about accepting the heavy burden of truth. Are you ready? Let's begin. Fade out with subtle violin. Now let's get to the most crucial point, the heart of the story, beneath that fur coat. Maria Puder. She is not just a picture, she is the harshest blow to a centuries-old definition of womanhood, a silent challenge. When Maria says, "I live like a man because being a woman in a man's world is a form of submission," what does she really mean? Maria stands in a place far deeper, far more rooted, and far more dangerous than today's hollow, slogan-bound, pseudo-feminist rhetoric. She is the timeless cry of the authentic spirit from the 1940s, lost amid the digital noise of 2026, among selves living for filters and the approval of others. Most readers, even some critics, find Maria prickly, cold, or unapproachable. Yet Maria is simply honest, brutally honest. In her world, politeness is not a weakness, but a luxury, and she does not offer it to anyone who does not deserve it. When Maria slapped Raif in the face with the words, "The day you ask me for something, it's over," she is actually declaring war on the toxic, possessive, and pragmatic give-and-take balance of modern relationships. You, the strong women who are part of the Dailybooks community, ask yourselves this question honestly. Do you value someone simply for existing, or for the false illusion of power or completeness they make you feel? When Maria entered Raif's life, she became not a wife, a lover, or a refuge for him. She became a mirror. With the character of Maria, Sabahattin Ali embodied the philosophy of one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, decades before Simone de Beauvoir in the foggy, smoky backstreets of Berlin. Maria is that rare spirit who refuses to be prey in a man's world, who chooses her own prey, but also sets it free. She wields the power of being undefinable, for she knows that the moment you are defined, you become imprisoned in another's mind. Maria Puder chose not to be imprisoned, but to burn with the wild and sorrowful freedom she hid beneath her fur coat. And now we will look at that fire together. What about Raif? Raif Efendi is one of the most misunderstood characters, not only in Turkish literature,
but also in the history of world literature. Those who describe him as timid, weak-willed, or insignificant are actually victims of the 2026 era's obsession with controlling everything, poisoned by aggressive masculinity. Raif's silence is not a weakness, but a protest. He is a sage who has retreated into his inner castle against the endless noise of the outside world. Through Raif, Sabahattin Ali is actually reimagining Plato's famous allegory of the cave. Until he entered that Berlin exhibition hall, Raif was a shadow. His life consisted of being an extra in that ordinary and boring script written by others. But Maria showed him not the light, but the naked, shocking truth within the darkness. As Iris Murdoch said, art is the only way for the individual to escape illusions and reach the truth. For Raif, Maria was a work of art, but this work was alive and demanded a huge price from him to give up his pride and his defenses of masculinity. Think about it. How many men could risk shrinking in the face of a woman's such high spiritual autonomy and becoming spiritually gigantic within that smallness? As Raif knelt before Maria, he was actually rejecting all those crude, possessive, and ownership-focused male roles. This situation is a complete disaster scenario for the modern man of 2026, because today we still cannot love what we cannot control, manage, or claim as our own. But Raif loved. He loved without controlling, without possessing, simply by witnessing her existence. His passivity is actually the highest form of activity. It is the courage to accept another person as they are, without forcing them into one's own mold. That is why Raif Efendi was the only one who could see the trembling but proud truth beneath Maria's fur coat. He chose not to be the winning man of the modern world, but the losing yet free poet of his own soul. And this choice transformed him into history's most unforgettable lover. We need to pause here and say, but why did this relationship, this tremendous spiritual partnership, end? Was it just the distance that came between them? Or were those famous train stations? No. What truly ended this relationship was not Raif's attempt to tame Maria or imprison her in his own world, but rather that Maria was too real for this world, this society, and even for Raif's love. In 2026, women still live every day, every second, with the same terrible dilemma Maria Puder faced back then. Either you will wear the compliant, smiling, flawless mask that society, your family, or those ruthless algorithms expect of you, or you will wrap yourself tightly in your fur coat like Maria Puder and sit like a queen on the cold but honorable throne of your own loneliness. In this novel, Sabahattin Ali actually beats the crude, possessive, and aggressive nature of masculinity with Raif's naivete, while honoring the seemingly fragile but actually steel-hard will of womanhood. Just as Tyler Durden blows up the buildings of modern consumer society with explosives in the film Fight Club, Sabahattin Ali blows up all the social norms of 1943 and even 2026 with Maria's self-portrait drawn with her own hands. When Maria says, "I am a woman, and in this world I want to remain only as a woman, on my own terms, not defined as a decorative object, a mother, or a wife," she's actually speaking for the silent battle for existence that thousands of women wage today on social media screens, in corporate workplaces, or in the most intimate bedrooms. Ask yourself honestly, are you in love with Maria's mesmerizing painting in that exhibition, or with the real woman behind it, the one who suffers, thinks, rejects, and never surrenders. The 2026 algorithm constantly tries to sell you an artificial perfection and constant happiness, but Maria reminds us that being flawed, remaining unconventional, and even dying alone can hold a certain nobility. She chose the hell of freedom over the comfort of surrender. And today, at Dailybooks, we are examining the ashes left behind from that fire.
In this most intimate part of the video, let us look a little deeper through the cold but honest lens of existentialist philosophers. Jean-Paul Sartre says, "Man is condemned to freedom." Maria Puder is a woman who paid the heavy price of this absolute freedom with profound loneliness, never compromising her soul to anyone. Raif, on the other hand, is a man who is mortally afraid of the responsibility that this freedom brings, and therefore hides behind the gray walls of a civil service job, a false family happiness, and a decade of immense silence. So why and how did these two polar opposites find each other? Because they both knew they were incomplete, that they did not fully belong in this world. Today, in the pragmatic world of 2026, people use each other not to complete one another, but to temporarily fill the terrible voids within themselves, to apply a patch. Maria and Raif, however, did not cover their voids, they merged them. This union did not give birth to an ordinary love, it gave birth to a miracle of being. Do you know why Sabahattin Ali's work still touches the hearts of millions in 2026? Because we all yearn for that deep, unfiltered, unmasked connection. We wait for someone to recognize us just by looking at us, to see the trembling, timid child beneath our famous fur coat, that is, beneath the tough and shiny masks we show to the outside world. But how many of us are brave enough, like Maria Puder, to say, "Don't love me, just understand me"? How many of us are as patient and faithful as Raif Efendi, able to live for 10 years in the shadow of a dream on the black pages of a notebook? For most of you, the relationship ends the moment the other person stops being useful. Raif, however, was actually performing his greatest existential act through his loyalty to Maria even in her absence. As we conclude this section, I want you to ask yourselves honestly, do you truly see the people in your life, or do you only see in them the dreams and missing pieces you wish to see? Maria Puder left Raif with not a rosy dream, but an impossible reality. And that reality slowly, insidiously rotted Raif from the inside out, because reality can sometimes be too heavy a burden for the human soul to bear. Now, prepare yourselves, because at the end of the video, we will discuss why that famous black notebook was not burned, and the horrifying confession on the last page will shatter your life.
And so we come to the most sincere, most shocking moment. We come to the moment when we opened the cover of the black-bound notebook, hidden like a corpse among the dusty papers in the bottom drawer of Raif Efendi's desk. Most people think this notebook is just an old memory book, an ordinary diary. But this notebook is the notebook of a man who dug his own grave, word by word, centimeter by centimeter. We are now at the 15-minute mark, and I want everyone watching on screen, especially our female viewers who carry the burden of life on their shoulders, to ask yourselves this painful question. Have you ever felt present but absent in someone's life, even when you were with your closest loved ones? After Raif returned from Berlin to the cold Ankara station, for 10 years he was absent in the corridors of gray government offices,
in a soulless marriage, and among nagging relatives who judged everything in material terms. He lived like an invisible shadow, but hidden within those pages, in the few months he spent with Maria Puder, there was a presence worth a lifetime. Sabahattin Ali is actually describing the greatest, bloodiest tragedy of the modern world, the pain of invisibility. In 2026, you may have thousands of followers, receive hundreds of likes every day, leave a digital trace of every moment. But if there is not a single person who truly sees you in all your nakedness, then you have never lived in this world. The trembling lines in Raif's notebook are not romantic letters of longing written to Maria. These lines are a silent but tremendous rebellion against the mask of insignificant clerk that society has forced upon him like a straitjacket. On the yellowed pages of the notebook, Maria Puder's echoing voice can be heard. "You don't understand me, Raif Efendi. I want you to understand me with a depth I have never expected from anyone." Maria held up a mirror to Raif, but Raif only found the courage to look into that mirror 10 years later, when everything was over and only scraps of paper remained. At this point, we enter the dangerous, dark waters of philosophy. Martin Heidegger says, "Man is a being on the way to death." Raif Efendi did not actually die the day he lost Maria. He died the day he stopped writing his diary, the day he stopped dreaming. You, women, think of the Raifs in your lives, those silent men. Is it your pressure that silences them, or is it their fear of seeing the real woman behind your fur coat, your social status, and your masks, of being crushed by that reality? In the later parts of the video, we will discuss why Maria suddenly fell silent and why that famous confession was not an end, but an awakening. But first, I want you to feel this deep in your bones. Raif's 10 years of silence were not a choice, but a necessity. Because a person who has experienced a spiritual revolution like Maria can never again speak with the ordinary words of an ordinary life. That notebook was the only proof of a life that had not been lived, but could not even be offered to be lived. And Raif sacrificed his entire fake life in the outside world to protect it. How many of us could sacrifice 10 years for the sake of a memory, the memory of a glance? Or are we, the people of 2026, consuming everything instantly, discarding emotions with a mere swipe? They couldn't consume Maria Puder, and Raif is the noblest victim of this unconsumability, this eternal loyalty. But, as you will see at the end of the video, this sacrifice will demand a terrible price.
And so we come to that inevitable final scene, that most devastating moment when the soul is silently shattered. Maria Puder was dead. But what truly killed her, was it a medical illness or Raif Efendi's dreadful, irreparable delay? Perhaps neither. What truly killed Maria was that this world and these shallow people had nothing real left to offer her in terms of meaning. When Raif Efendi saw that little girl, that last sacred piece Maria had left him, he didn't just realize he was a father. In that moment, he realized he had loved a corpse for 10 years, that the real truth had been right under his nose, but he had chosen to fall in love with his own melancholy and sorrow. This is spiritual murder. Sabahattin Ali does not try to console us at the end of the book. He does not tell us fairy tales with happy endings like in soap operas. On the contrary, he slaps us in the face with the cold, hard truth. Life is a merciless sum of missed opportunities, cowardly silences, and confessions that come too late. Here, as we always emphasize at Dailybooks, philosophy exists not to make us happy or to pat us on the back.
but to shake us up and wake us up. Maria Puder's final letter is actually the harshest testament left to the modern woman of 2026. Don't give anyone, absolutely anyone, permission to imprison you in their dreams and turn you into a decorative object. Raif didn't love Maria for who she was. Raif loved the temporary revolutionary feeling Maria created in him and the awakening within himself. The moment Maria understood this, she withdrew with her noble bearing. As in Oscar Wilde's famous line, "Every man kills the thing he loves." Some do it with a glance, some with flattery and false words, the cowardly with a kiss, the brave with a sword. Raif Efendi killed Maria with his 10 years of silence, his inertia, and his agonizing delay. At the very beginning of the video, I told you this was not a love story, but a murder of the soul. Now, at the end of these 25 minutes, do you understand? Who is the murderer? Who is the real victim? Aren't we all potential Raif Effendis? While carrying huge, stormy, colorful worlds inside us, don't we turn into shadows, algorithmic data, compliant and soulless, saying yes sir, no sir to society? Maria Puder's fur coat is actually the successful, constantly happy, problem-free, and perfect image we present to society in the modern world. When you take off that coat for a moment, what really remains? A trembling, naked soul, or just a deep and meaningless void? We have reached the end of this philosophical journey. As Dailybooks, this was our promise to you from the very beginning, to disturb you, to shatter your false comfort zone, and to leave you alone with the weight of that black-covered notebook. When this video ends, you won't go and read that book as if it were just a work of literature. You will go and look into the mirror, into the depths of your own eyes, and you will ask yourself this question: who did I kill today with my silent fantasy? Or under which fur coat am I suffocating, gasping for breath? As always, I'm not asking you to subscribe to our channel or like the video. I just want you to think about Raif's agonizing 10 years of silence and your own moments of silence until we meet again in the next video. What truly silences you? Remember, in this new world, we only share truths and those deep aches. As Maria Puder said, nothing in this world, no one is complete. Embrace the nobility of your incompleteness and those deep wounds, because that is the only thing that makes us human. Until our next spiritual autopsy and philosophical confrontation, I'm Fatih. This is Dailybooks, and you're still alive. At least for now, you can bear this weight.